Welcome back to 6 Minute Math Plays, where we will be doing our New York Times games today. As always, we're going to start off with our pips, so let's get going with our easy. We have a less than 1. Well, that clearly has to be the 0. This is 30, so that is just a bunch of 6s because there's 5 of them. This one has to be less than 3, which is the 2. And then the last one is the greater than 3, which is the 4. 18 seconds today, not too bad. Let's get going on with our medium. We're going to give myself a 5-minute time limit for this one. So I have a 6 here. There's only 2 6s. I have a 3. And there's 2 3s, but 1 is a 2. This red section needs to be less than 2, so that tells me that's going to be a 3 1. And that tells me that this is actually going to be a 0. There's only 1 of those, so that has to be the 0 4. This has to all be equal here in the purple, so that's 2 more 4s, 3 total. There's my double 4. This red section has to be equal, and there's only 1 more equals out there, so that's the double 1. There's only a single 2 3 or 2, so that's going to be the 2 3. I know this is either 4 5 or 4 6. Let's actually do that top 6 one. So that has to be a 6 1 because I don't have a 3 to match this 4 up with. That tells me that that's a 6 4, and then we have the 5 4 to finish it off. 110 is not too bad for a medium. Let's go on to our hard. I'm going to give myself a 10-minute time limit for this one. And we just have a bunch of numbers. And interesting enough, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I imagine we're not just going to match things up. So that's not going to be the 2. That's not going to be the 11. Let's just see if this works, actually. It would be no, it's 2 7s. We're close, though. So it's not going to be like that. I'm going to have to alternate. So there's no 0s, so this has to be a 1 1 1 here in green. The 11 has to be a 5 6. There's no 1 6, so that has to be the 1 5, which makes this number a 6. There is only 1 of those, so that's going to be the 6 5. That makes this bottom number a 5 here to match up with the 10. And there's 2 of those. So let's go on to this top one. Actually, we can do this one. It can't be the 1 1 because this 1 wouldn't make the 9 fit. It cannot be the 1 3 because I don't have a 6 to go in this spot. So therefore it has to be the 1 4. This orange section has to be a 5. Both oranges have to be a 5 here. This top one cannot be a 5 4 because that 3, the 4 is going to negate the 3. So that's going to be the 5 2, which makes that, oh, actually this isn't going to work. Oh, did I make a mistake? I thought this was too easy. Let's keep going here, and let's see what we can do. So this has to be a 2, which doesn't work. Interesting. Oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm missing. I could have sworn that that actually is it. Okay, let's continue on here and see what we can do. That has to be there. That's the 1 1. Let's make this a 4 4, which would make that a 4 3. That can be a 4 2. So this is probably pretty close. If I make that the 2, 4, but that won't work. So that can't be a 4. See if this works for some reason. See, now I'm second guessing myself, which I have learned I probably shouldn't do that. Let's make that a 4, 3. This can now be a 1, 3. 4, 4 matches up those. This is a 4, 5. I wish I had some zeros. And that's a 2, 4. So that ends up being, there's a couple. Can't be a 1. This is really interesting because I am fairly certain those all have to be true. And I only have, I guess that could be, it can't be a 1, 3. So that all has to be true. Unless, so this is the conundrum. Yeah, it could be this. And I bet you because it hasn't been working, I imagine this is it. So if I make that there, this is now a 5, 1. This can be the 5, 2. This can be the 4. Actually, there's a bunch there, so let's go up here. This is a 2, 4. This is a 1, 4. 4, 4. There we go. This is going to work. Okay, so it's just this double ones that was messing me up. This is going to be the 4, 3. And to match everything up and make everything work, this 3, 1's going to go in. So in retrospect, I did know this needed to be the 2 1s. I just didn't think they would give me the domino for that one. Let's put that in and finish her up. 5 minutes is not too bad. On to our strands. Let's do our strands next. So we have boo roaring as our theme, and let's see what we can see. I have drum here at the bottom. Don't know if that could be anything. Pain. Ching. Hind. Hinder. Those are all words here. So let's see what we can get here. Oh, I think maybe paint. Nope. Let's see what drum looks like. Nothing. Hinder. Hind. I have water. That's maybe going to be something. Water mall. I have mall. I have mundane, but oh, they're mundane. Okay, this is going to be a word, mundane. So we're looking at boring or dull things. So speaking of which, dull. Have my spangram here. What could be boring is watching paint dry. So I was really close with a couple of those actually. Dream, that's not it. Ooh, humdrum would be one. Tiresome and dreary to finish it off. Let's check out our Wordle next. So let's start today with, let's start with stare. Ooh, okay, we have a T, A, and an E all in wrong spots. Let's change everything around with cheat. Okay, as I thought, it ends in EAT. So now I'm just looking for what starts. Let's go to pleat. I know my L. Bleat is a word. I'm just going to do a quick scan with everything else, and I'm thinking that's going to be it. That's the noise a goat makes. Okay, and then on to our last game here. We have connections. Okay, this is a math one, so I love it. Really quickly, we have our division, subtraction, multiply, and addition. We have dice 2, 3, 4, 5. We have punctuation marks, colon, quotations, period, ellipsis, and then whatever the last one is. I gotta put some stuff in here. Okay, let's get some stuff going on. Okay, that's not it. Awesome. Let's do our dice. So we have our dice pips here. Okay, we have our punctuation marks. And we have our math, which I'm going to put the equal sign in, and I'm going to take out, we'll see. Yeah, so this is math. And then this is symbols on a sign. Lowercase letters, not even remotely close. I don't know why I thought that was symbols on a sign. Anyways, there's our nice little connections for the day. All of our games in about 12-ish minutes, which is pretty good. Always remember that the best way to get math is to practice math. So keep on practicing. And until next time, keep solving and evolving.